Welcome, everybody, to Confessions of a Binge Eater. I want to talk to you today about some words of wisdom I received from my mentor, Roy, once upon a time. I heard him offer this advice to many others as well. And it's so pertinent for emotional eaters specifically. Sure, other people can get benefit as well. But here's the thing. As emotional eaters, we project how we feel about ourselves onto situations. So we misinterpret events outside of ourselves as having something to do with us. When we think about ourselves all the time and we're thinking, do they like me? Do they not like me? Are they going to reject me? Do they accept me? Am I good enough? Am I thin enough? Am I pretty enough? Am I smart enough? It's a constant litany of thoughts about ourselves. It's not pretty to look at, I understand, but the fact is, I have been super self-obsessed in my lifetime. And I can't say I'm a whole lot less self-obsessed these days, but I'm working on it. There's a cute saying, I'm not much, but I'm all I think about. And I think that's true. When we have an addiction, we have our finger on our pulse, wondering how we're measuring up all the time. And that's part of the problem because it leads to overeating when we're so myopic and we can't see beyond our noses. But also, what it lends itself to is thinking that what's happening on the outside has something to do with us. For instance, if somebody is having a bad day and they're moody, okay, we're not good with moody because we interpret other people's moods codependently. We're thinking it's about us. Oh, they're mad at us. Right? They're mad at us. There's a saying that, if you walk into a room and there's 100 people in that room, 99 of them think you're the cat's meow, but one person doesn't like you, we're going to be up like right in front of that one person doing a little song and dance, trying to get them to like us, trying to sway their opinion when we could be having a great old time with the other 99. But it just drives us nuts when somebody doesn't like us. Like, why don't they like us? I've been so nice. I'm such a good person. Like, what's going on? How can I change their mind? And it's a absolutely fruitless effort, right? And it just causes all kind of stress. So it's really important that we extricate ourselves from this sense of thinking that other people's moods, other people's actions necessarily have something to do with us, because it drives us nuts when we think it does. And sometimes somebody's just having a bad day, and it has nothing to do with us. Now, of course, we might have done something. We might have an amends to make, but I'm just here to say that it's not all about you. And you drive yourself nuts when you think it is. So here's an example. We have somebody we care about die. Well, people die, right? But instead of just saying, yeah, they died and I'm sad, sometimes in our brain we say, they up and died on us. They up and died on us, as if their dying had anything to do with us. So that's a pretty concrete example of how we turn something that has nothing to do with us, that just is a fact of life, and all of a sudden it's about us. And we do that in so many ways. Somebody is distracted and they're not jumping up to say hello to us when we walk into the office, or they don't look up from their desk and smile, and then we're like, uh-oh. What did I do? And those thoughts of what did I do and why are they mad and all that stuff, that just creates all kinds of negative noise in our heads. And then a really futile effort to try to get their attention or try to please them, bring them a cup of coffee, and then they'll look up and smile, or make small talk, and then we can gauge whether they really are mad at us or not. Look at all that wasted effort, whereas we could just go to our desk and start working and go who cares? Like, it probably has nothing to do with us. But we make it mean something. And this is very common for people who have a struggling sense of themselves, okay? Meaning they're insecure. And I think most emotional eaters carry this sense of insecurity. I know I have. And especially when we're people pleasers, and emotional eaters take the cake on being people pleasers. And we have our antenna out, scanning the room, scanning people's moods, scanning their energy, and we are sensitive to people's energy. But when we feel bad about ourselves, we also mistake other people's energy for being a direct commentary on how they feel about us. You know, I was talking to a friend recently about the fact that her child had basically canceled her, basically shut her out of her life. It's kind of a big thing now. Like, cancel culture has seeped its way into families where kids don't talk to their parents, or somebody has completely shut somebody out. It happens. It hurts. And the problem is, beyond the pain that causes anybody who's been shut out, is that my friend made it mean something about her worth. She said, I must be a bad person who's done terrible things. And she had even invited her daughter to talk it through so she could make it right. But the daughter was like, nope, not talking, not addressing it, goodbye. Which, of course, for anybody, especially a parent, is so painful. But what I tried to help my friend see is that just because, sure, she might have made some mistakes parenting, who doesn't, it doesn't mean she's a bad person. But too often, as emotional eaters, our knee-jerk reaction is to make it say something about our worth. Oh my gosh, we do this all the time. If we're not invited to the party, it must mean we're bad. If we didn't get the promotion, it must mean we suck. If I wasn't invited on the second date, it must mean I really suck. So thankfully, that was not the case with my honey. We definitely had a second date. So the point is, we have to watch out for making it mean something about us. It doesn't mean we're perfect. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have something to do with us. But to jump several steps forward and say it means we're bad is just incorrect. It's incorrect. It's a default for us, and it causes us to continue to feel bad about ourselves and to continue to eat in self-pity. And self-pity is a trap, saying, mea culpa, I'm so bad, I'm the worst person in the world. That's a trap. And there's nothing noble about it, because we can't serve God and our fellows when we're in this negative swirl of, I'm so terrible. It's not constructive. And so I want to just bring this to your attention, because if you're in that swirl, and overeating will take you there even faster, and being in the swirl will take you to overeating even faster. So either way, it's a trap. My mentor used to say, self-pity is like quicksand. You wiggle your little toe in it, and it'll grab you and suck you all the way to hell. And so we have to be aware when our mind is taking us down that terrible road to, I suck, nobody likes me, everybody hates me, I'm going to eat some worms. So anyway, one of the cute things that Roy said to me when I was really in this, I'm so bad, I've done so bad, how can I ever be forgiven? This terrible place that doesn't serve anybody and certainly leads to overeating. One time he said to me, get off the cross, we need the wood. And oh my God, that was so funny and so apt, because it's like, I'm up there on the cross, I'm this terrible person and I deserve to be stoned. And he's like, yeah, get over it. Like, we need the wood. Let's move on. And another thing he told me was, Tricia, you're not that good at being bad. You're just not that good at being bad. So I tell my clients this when they're stuck in that trap. I told my friend this. When we're stuck, we need to step aside and realize it's not all about us. Other people's moods, other people's actions, other people's decisions, even if it means they're deciding to cancel us, that's not necessarily about us. It's a decision somebody else has made. It's not an indication of our worth. And so I just want to say, you're not that good at being bad. And when you find yourself thinking you're so bad, get off the cross. We need the wood. Do something for somebody else. Get out of yourself. Get out of that terrible morass of self-pity, that quicksand, and get on with serving. Because God needs you. God needs your light and your love. And when you're hating on yourself, convinced that you're a terrible person, you're not shining your light and you're not emitting love. So just a little reminder. We all need the reminders. I certainly did, and I certainly do, and I'm sure you do too. I hope this has been helpful. I love you so much. You're awesome. I'll see you in the next show. If you're ready to get off the dieting roller coaster ride and finally make peace with food and with your body, talk to a Heal Your Hunger mentor about what steps you need to take based on your own history with food and weight. Go to healyourhunger.com and register for an emotional eating breakthrough session and see how fast you can experience real change. It's a complimentary evaluation, but there are limited spots available. So go to healyourhunger.com and register to speak with a mentor today.